simplify. X over x square negative 9x positive 20, positive x over x square negative 8x positive 15, negative x over x square negative 7x positive 12. Here, the first two fractions are in addition, the third fraction is in subtraction. Okay, to simplify this expression, I need to get the same denominator for all the three fractions. That is, I have to get the common denominator. Okay, to get the common denominator, what I need to do is I have to factor each denominator. So here, each denominator is a quadratic expression. Okay, let's factor each denominator. So x over. So here, the first denominator is x square negative 9x positive 20. To factor this quadratic expression, I am taking this constant term positive 20. Okay, now I have to get two factors for this positive 20. So that the product is equal to positive 20. When I add the two factors, it must be equal to the middle term negative 9, which is a coefficient of x. So negative 5 and negative 4 will work. Because when I multiply negative 5 and negative 4, it's positive 20. When I add negative 5 and negative 4, it's negative 9. So that we have in the middle term. So the two factors of this quadratic expression are x negative 5 and x negative 4. Okay, now let's factor the second denominator, that is x square negative 8x positive 15. So the same thing what I've done as I've done in the first denominator. So that is I have to take the constant term positive 15. Now I have to get two factors for this positive 15. So the product of the two factors must be equal to positive 15 and the sum must be equal to the middle term negative 8. So negative 5 and negative 3 will work. So the two factors of this quadratic expression are x negative 5 and x negative 3. So in the same way, I can factor the quadratic expression in the denominator of the third fraction. So I'm taking positive 12. So if I take positive 12, so I can factor this positive 12 as negative 3, negative 4. So the product of these two factors is equal to positive 12. And when I add them, they add up to the middle term negative 7. So the two factors negative 3 and x negative 3 and x negative 4. Okay, now I have factored so all the denominators. Now I have to get the common denominator. So to do that, what I need to do is I have to look at each denominator carefully. So each denominator is a product of two binomials. Okay, now what I need to do is I have to list out the different binomials I have in all the three denominators. Okay, if I take the first denominator, I find two different binomials, x negative 5 and x negative 4. Okay, if we go to the second denominator, we have x negative 5 and x negative 3, but x negative 5 is already taken, so we can ignore this. So we can take x negative 3. If I go to the third denominator, we have the two binomials x negative 3, x negative 4. So both x negative 3 and x negative 4 already taken. So the common denominator is x negative 5 times x negative 4 times x negative 3. So let's write the common denominator. So the common denominator is x negative 3 times x negative 4 times x negative 5. Okay, here compare the denominator of the first fraction and the common denominator. So what is missing over here? So x minus 3 is missing because x minus 4 we have here, we have x minus 4, here we have x minus 5, here we have x minus 5. So x negative 3 is missing in the first denominator. So that we have to multiply in numerator. So we get x times x negative 3. Okay, now compare the second denominator and the common denominator over here. What is missing? X negative 4. So you have to multiply the numerator by x negative 4. Now, so compare the third denominator and the common denominator. X negative 5 is missing. So the numerator x has to be multiplied by x negative 5. So here we can simplify the numerator now. X can be distributed to this one and this one. I'll be getting x square negative 3x. Then I get x square negative 4x. So when I distribute this negative x to this one and this one, I'll be getting negative x square positive 5x over x negative 3 times x negative 4 times x negative 5. Okay, here, so negative x square positive x square will cancel out. I get x square. So when I combine negative 3x, negative 4x, it will be negative 7x, positive 5x will be negative 2x over x negative 3 times x negative 4 times x negative 5. So in the next step, so numerator, we can factor x out. So if I factor x out, I'll be getting x times x negative 2 over x negative 3 times x negative 4 times x negative 5. So this is a simplified form of the given expression.